Preaching. Alchemy is the knowledge of transmuting energy, consciousness, and matter, and teaches us that energy, consciousness, and matter can be transmuted through the knowledge of how these interrelate and transmute one another. And in many ancient cultures, the main areas of interest that the alchemists were involved in was what? Medicine. The essence of medicine is transformation, and the alchemists transformed deadly potions or other inert organic substances into valuable medicines capable of bringing about beneficial healing transformations in the organism. The alchemical tradition in Greek medicine is based on Hermetic philosophy, Hermeticism, which was founded by the legendary Egyptian philosopher King Hermes Trismegistus as the thrice great Hermes. Many alchemists equate him with the Greek god Hermes or Mercury and take his winged serpent entwined staff as their symbol or emblem. So what that is, that's just the snake on the tree transferring his will into mankind all over again, just like the garden. Because that's what happened when Eve ate off the tree. The devil transformed his will and used alchemy in the garden from the snake to mankind. That's why they use this as the symbol for the pharmacy as well. Can I keep preaching in here? Is this some good information? Hermes or Mercury is a major mythical god. And what are gods? Gods and goddesses are what? Demons. Mythology are just the legends in which demons disguise themselves. So Hermes or Mercury is a major mythical god or demon. He was the patron god of financial gain. Now this is going to sound just like the pharmaceutical industry. He was a patron god of financial gain, commerce, eloquence, messages, communication, including divination, travelers, boundaries, luck, trickery, and thieves. He was also the god of souls to the underworld. So after he had confused your mind and took over your will, he took you to hell. Hermeticism is a set of beliefs and practices whose aim is influencing of the world through contact with heavenly forces. It claims descent from the Prisca Theologica, an original untainted pure set of doctrines secretive which were allegedly compiled in ancient times in Egypt and whose undiluted purity guarantees their veracity and efficacy. So this is Prisca Theologica, these writings from Hermes, and this is what creates Hermeticism, and it's all secret, so most people aren't exposed to this, only the elite. Y'all still with me? Alchemy teaches transmutation, that's transferring matter into energy, and vice versa. So if you want to bring a demon or a god from another dimension into our dimension, you can use alchemy, because alchemy will transmute them into our flesh so that they can live within us. Transfer their will into us using alchemy. This also encompasses the transfer of the will of the gods and goddesses into the human body. This is what demonic possession is, transmutation of the presence of that which is non-physical into the physical realm. Am I preaching in here? All psychiatric drugs produce side effects. Side effects are usually uncontrollable actions as a result of what? Mind-altering chemicals. Spiritually, these can be the actions of beings because a person has submitted to the will of the god or goddess through the alchemist meds. These unwanted actions are the proof that you are no longer in control and must allow the actions of the potions to work through you. You are possibly channeling the presence of entities and submitting your will to them. Hippocrates, 460 BC to 370 BC, was an ancient Greek physician of the age of Pericles in classic Greece, and is considered one of the most outstanding figures in the history of medicine. He is referred to as the father of Western medicine. Hippocrates is commonly portrayed as the paragon of the ancient physician, credited with coining the Hippocratic Oath, still relevant and in use today by doctors. Hippocrates viewed mental disorders as stemming from natural causes, and he developed the first classification system for mental disorders. So when you become a doctor, you used to have to quote this. A lot of doctors have changed some of it, but a lot of them have quoted this from Hippocrates, the Hippocratic Oath, where he says, I swear by Apollo, physician, and Acephalus, and Hygeia, and Panacea, and all the gods and goddesses, making them my witness that I fulfill, according to my ability and judgment, this oath and this covenant. Making a covenant to demons is what the Hippocratic Oath is. And he proved that they were mental disorders that could be controlled And if they could be controlled, they could be induced. Tim Leary. Some of y'all have heard of this guy, right? Timothy Francis Leary was an American psychologist and writer known for his advocacy of psychedelic drugs. During a time when drugs such as LSD and psilocybin were legal, Leary conducted experiments at Harvard University under the Harvard psilocybin Project, resulting in the Concord Prison Experiment and the Marsh Chapel Experiment. Leary believed LSD showed therapeutic potential for use in psychiatry. He popularized catchphrases that promoted his philosophy, such as getting turned on, turned in, or dropped out, set and setting, and think of yourself and question authority. He also wrote and spoke frequently about transhumanist transmutation, concepts involving space migration, intelligence increase, and life extension. So this guy was dealing with the gods and other dimensions. President Richard Nixon once described Leary as the most dangerous man in America. Why am I mentioning Leary? Because of who he was connected to, Aleister Crowley. Many consider Leary one of the most prominent figures during the counterculture of the 1960s, and since those times had remained influential on pop culture, literature, television, film, and especially music. Unbeknownst to many, Leary was a follower and admirer of who? Aleister Crowley. Leary is actually quoted as saying in a PBS interview, "I've been an admirer of Aleister Crowley, and I think that I'm carrying on much of his work that he started over 100 years ago, and I think the 60s themselves," you know, Crowley said, "do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." I'm sorry he isn't around now to appreciate the glories that he started. This brings us to the saddest part of this particular presentation, which is doping our children with these psychiatric